What up, Real Madrid fans? I feel like I had to make this video. I've been a fan of Real Madrid for going on 20 years. I'm about to be 40 myself. I started following this team when I was right around 20 years old, and this team has brought me so much joy in my life. All the La Liga titles, Champions Leagues. I even had the privilege of living in Rota, Spain for 3 years, and I used to go. This was during the Cristiano Ronaldo era. The last year I lived in Spain, they won La Decima. It was one of the happiest moments of my life when we stuck it to Atletico Madrid, those bums. But I should be happy today. You know, we got to win 2-1, but I felt like it was necessary that I speak out. Just let it be known that this team is driving me absolutely fucking insane watching them on a weekend and week out basis. They just are the vein of my existence. They play lifeless, dull, uninspired soccer week in and week out, and I figured I'd talk about it. I could think of, probably better names than this, but I'm going to call myself MadridristFitz, and let's talk about this. I think there's one. This is no surprise. Week in and week out, we drop stinker after stinker after stinker against lower sides in La Liga. We turn up every now and then in the Champions League. We played okay against Bayern Munich. We at least put in a good shift. We put in a fight. They were just flat out better than us, Bayern Munich, but there's no surprise. The real issue with this team is one player. I know the big debate is between Vinny and Mbappe, but I'm not going to say who's a better player or who they should keep. They're probably going to end up keeping both of them, but at the end of the day, and I have a little PowerPoint which I'm going to present to you. I made this in about 10 minutes, so it's a fine effort. The problem is we have an Mbooty problem. This man, I know there's a meme going around, Dictator Mbappe. This man, literally the Mbooty himself, he does whatever he wants. On the pitch, off the pitch. The dude Flanders with trannies, that's his thing. Whatever, to each their own. Lamine Yamal entertains midgets, so which one's worse than the other? Two of the best players in the world. I'll get into Lamine Yamal's ass here in a minute, but this guy does whatever he wants, off the pitch and on the pitch. Pretty much, from my picture here, Elise and Camavinga are now not going to the World Cup because of the dictator.
I already booked your flight to Norwich.
The guy's
We're taking you
on
to
his
the
off
airport
days
with
is
us,
flying
Antonio.
to Monaco and hooking up with some trannies.
Get in.
We have an Mbappe problem. This is no surprise. His positioning on the field is horrific. I have another chart over here to the left. We play with two left wings every single game. This is their heat maps from the 2000. I think this is last year's season. I'm sure it's very similar this year. The guy, I don't know if it's coaching and they're telling him to go out there and just make something happen, but you can go to any, I live in the United States, and soccer or football, however you want to call it, in the United States is absolute dog shit, but sure as hell, you could go to any recreational youth league soccer pitch and you can see a clear formation, a clear intent in the final third because they play a forward. And the forward's positioning, if there was a heat map for any traditional forward, you would see that they are box monsters. Their job is to be in the 18-yard box. This is stuff you learn 101 in soccer. They are supposed to be in the 18-yard box because crosses come in and players can score, and they pull defenders, the center backs. They pull the center backs, even their wing backs. They pull them towards the middle, which gives other players, including your midfielders, opportunities in the box or outside the box to shoot. This is something Kylian Mbappe fails to do week in and week out. I don't know if he's being coached not to do this. I don't know if he just innately is not listening to the coaches, or he just doesn't believe he's a forward on this team. He believes he's also the left wing. But this man never makes forward runs in the box. I watched him all game today. I saw him make one or two forward runs into the box. He operates on the left side. Even he did something unusual today and went out to the right wing, which I really question, why haven't we tried him on the right ever? Because if he wants to hang out there and beat players on the right wing and put crosses into the box with no forward, you understand, Mbappe, you are the forward. You are crossing into a box with no one. Let him have at it. I don't understand why we haven't tried him on the right. Obviously, the man wants to play on the wing because that's where he operates. And you can see from the heat map over here to the right side of this slide, him and Vinicius Jr. share the same space. When two players on your team share the same space, It's simple. There's no one in the middle. And when you don't occupy that spot in the middle, then you're not going to be creating goals. It takes players, other players like your midfielders that crash into the box. They have to be crashing the box. And a guy like Jude Bellingham is kind of not doing that as much anymore because we have not one player like Vinny that won't run back on defense. We have two players. Mbappe won't go back. So he's playing more box to box and he's refusing to come into the middle. So on my next side, I think Mbappe, outstanding player. Either he's doing this on his own accord because he does whatever the hell he wants on the field and refuses to go in the middle, or he's just playing out of position and he has no fundamental concept of what it's to be, what responsibilities and movements you're supposed to do as a forward. But it really affects a few players, I think, deeply on this team. And I highlighted him right here. Let's go over to him here. So I call it the Mbooty effect. So what players is he hurting the most? I think, and this isn't in any necessary order, but I think he's affecting Vinicius Jr.'s game because Vinny Jr., when he was the man, his best form at Real Madrid was the role of the playmaker. When he was feeding the ball to Benzema and he had that up top presence and he knew Benzema was going to crash the box, he knew that Benzema could serve as a post or the highest player up on the field, then he could distribute the ball to him. And he knew he would either get the ball back on a 1-2 or he would be there to, finish the assist that Vinicius Jr. created. Now, I think Vinicius Jr. just realized Mbappe is not going to make any of these runs. And he probably thinks to himself, I'm going to have to handle the business, end of the final third of the pitch all by myself. And I think this is really hurting his game because you can see this man who he's an excellent dribbler. He's a better football player than I could ever be. That's for goddamn sure. But this man makes it his goal every game to try to take on 3 or 4 players. This simply is not suited to him. He's a guy that really, on his best day, outpaces players than out-trickeries them. And I don't want to say his bag's thoroughly limited when it comes to trickery, but he's not like and I'm going to go over this fool in a minute. He's not the Lamine Yamal. He's not in a bag like that. But if he's playing a pacey wing back, he's going to have trouble going around him. And he certainly can't go around 3 or 4 players. And I think he's doing this and trying to be more of a goal scorer because he simply, doesn't have anyone to pass to in that final third. And Mbappe's even taking away from his space by standing over on the left wing. Mbappe's drawing more defenders to that left wing, making it harder for Vinny because he has to go around more people because defenders are gravitating towards that left wing. So I think he's really affecting Vinicius Jr.'s game. Also, I think he's affecting Jude Bellingham's game really greatly. Jude Bellingham in 2024, when we signed this guy, he almost won the Ballon d'Or as a midfielder. And I think it's mainly because he had a little bit more freedom, going from not just box to box, but crashing that box because he knew that there would be people behind him covering him if he made those central runs. I don't feel like he can do that anymore, or either that or the coaching staff is telling him you need to play more of a defensive role because we have not one, but 2 players with Mbappe that will not track back on defense. They will not do any defending. Even if they do go back there, they're not particularly good defenders. They're not very particularly good at pressuring the ball. Players that were really good at pressuring the ball, Karim Benzema, he was a perfect example of, he might not have done it all the time, but when he did it, he was effective. Think back to the final against Liverpool where he intercepted the pass. I can't remember the keeper's name, Caracos, something crazy like that. His pressure up top created a goal from us, and essentially he got us to a 1-0 and a pretty good demoralizing goal against Liverpool, those bums. But he was a very good pressure of the ball, even though he didn't do it all the time. Mbappe, you just hardly ever see this guy doing that. And I think that leaves a huge responsibility on Mr. Jude Bellingham to track back and back. His cardio must be absolutely fucking incredible because I'm pushing 40. I go out for, a 20, 25 minute jog and my lungs are hurting, probably because my fucking blood pressure is through the roof after watching this goddamn team. But his work rate is just incredible, and I can see why his goal tally is going down because he has more defensive role that he has to take on because he's carrying the weight for these 2 bums up top that won't work together. That's it. That's another thing. I think it's overstated between Vinny and Mbappe not working together. I don't think they work well together because Mbappe doesn't even create opportunities for Vinny to work with him because he's refusing to make these central runs. Now, if Mbappe was making these central runs and Vinny wasn't passing the ball or they still weren't scoring goals, I would say these two have no chemistry together. But I think Mbappe fails to even make the runs to create said chemistry. And that brings us to our last guy over here, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I can't think of a bigger mismatch signing. I was aware of who Trent Alexander-Arnold was. I'm a pretty avid football watcher, but his entire game is based on passing the ball into the box and his facilitation. And when Mbappe isn't making central runs ever into the box, that nullifies his game out to the right. And that the only thing he is now he's a defensive liability on the right side. He can't defend. That's not his game. We know that. But when you don't have a player crashing into the box, he what does he bring when we play him into the team? I don't nothing really, in my opinion. So he probably goes home every day to his banging Madrid Andalusian girlfriend and just probably complains the shit that out of having to play on this sorry team and wishes he was back in cold ass Liverpool because he has no one to pass to. There's no one running into the box for this guy. I would have to see how many assists he has on the year, but it surely is less than what he would have got in Liverpool or what he was producing in Liverpool. And I feel sorry for this guy that he has to deal with this, and he's probably deeply depressed like I am. But yeah, let's move on to I wanted to touch on this guy briefly in my last sentiment on Vinny Jr. and Mbappe in general. They need to follow a system, and I really believe these two are some of the best players in the world, but even all that talent, there's only a few players on the entire planet that I think can operate without a system, and they should be given freedom to really do whatever they want. And it's not Kylian Mbappe. Sorry, bro. You're good at finishing. The rest of your game, and like I said, he is a better player than I could ever be. But the rest of his game has a lot of work, particularly his football IQ. His movements into the box are poor. His facilitation of the ball is very poor. He's not a great hold-up player. He's not particularly good in the air. His game is completely predicated on being a wing player, using his speed and getting past players with speed and putting the ball in the back of the net. Those are the things he's good at. His all-around game, I don't think, justifies him being able to do whatever the hell he wants on the pitch. Same with Vinicius Jr. They're of the same mold. They use their speed. Vinny has maybe a little bit more trickery than Kylian, but their whole game is predicated on speed. And I don't even think Vinny has the finishing capability as Kylian. But kind of rounding my whole argument together, I don't think these players, Vinny and Mbappe, deserve a free reign card. They need to be in a system, and they need to be willing to play in that system. The only player on planet Earth right now, not named Messi, that I think should be given a free reign card. Even Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime played in a system, and he knew he had to crash the box to score goals, and he didn't play out of position and really didn't do whatever the hell he wanted. There's only one player right now, and that's the Barcelona princess himself, Mr. Lamine Yamal. He can do whatever the fuck he wants because he's that talented. This hurts me, pains me to say this. He looks exactly like Ruth from Ozarks. They might actually be the same person, and this might actually be what he does in his off season. He could certainly be passed for a 16-year-old girl with that Jerry curly headed fuck. But the guy's incredible, and he even, I would say, plays in Barcelona's system. He doesn't go over wherever the hell he wants. He could, because he can beat 5 players at one time. This is something Kylian Mbappe and Vinny cannot do. Until they prove that they can do this, I don't think they should be given a free pass to do whatever the hell they want on the pitch. Until they punk this little 18-year-old Jerry curly-headed fuck, they shouldn't be given a free pass. Whoever the next coach is, whether it's Jurgen Klopp or Jose Mourinho, they really need to play in the system and not go rogue, or we're going to continue to have dog shit after dog shit season. We're going to go trophyless for the 3rd year in a row, and I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if my blood pressure can take it. I'm on the verge of taking blood pressure medication. It's getting that bad. from watching this fucking football team. But that's enough on Lamine Yamal. Let's go. Oh, one other guy before I go over into player ratings. What happened to Carreras? This guy drives me fucking nuts. I'm going to take a sip of Gatorade real quick. I got back from a run. God bless Jude Bellingham for running all over the pitch the way he does. It's insane. Carreras. This dude, at the beginning of the season, I was on, just football boards raving about this kid. He looked like a world-class defender, and he was presenting a lot going forward. He's good on the ball. He showed composure, tracking back and defending as well, and he looked like a high-energy player. Particularly that first game against Barcelona, he absolutely put Lamine Yamal in his back pocket. Lamine Yamal pretty much could call him his daddy. He looks exactly like Zac Efron. I don't know what happened to this man. I think he actually transformed into Zac Efron from High School Musical, because I can't believe the stuff I'm seeing from this guy the last couple games. He got absolutely beat like a redheaded stepchild against Elise. I haven't seen a man get cooked that bad since last time I lived in Spain and I tried playing against Sevilla's B team. That's how bad it was. I mean, it blows my mind. Even the first minute of the game against Alaves today, he almost let up a goal. Like, there was a long ball. It was like a 50-50 ball, and he just completely misjudged it. One thing, I don't know a lot about defending because that's not really the position that I played in soccer, but if it's a 50-50 ball in the air and you're the last man back and you don't have defensive coverage behind you, it's better to play it safe than be sorry and completely miss the ball. And he was a sorry ass on that one. He completely missed the ball, and Alves could have went up, in the first minute. Our defense has a lot of problems. He certainly contributes to it, and I think his poor form is just really personifies this defense in general. I think they're just very weak collectively. A player will have a good game every now and then. I think Militao has played okay in the minutes that he's been in the game. He just can't stay healthy, but the rest of them are just liabilities. We know Trent can't defend. Danny Carvajal is old as shit. He needs to leave. I love you, brother. You've been a good player, a good steward at Real Madrid. Thank you for scoring in the final against Borussia Dortmund. But it's time for you to go, my dude. You're old as dirt. You're about as old as me. Rudiger, that guy, he is what he is. He's a liability. He's a hothead. He's kind of like a WWF character playing soccer. I like his attitude, but I think the skills have passed him. Asensio, he's a rotational player at best. He can go, but my man Carreras, you need to get back on board like the quality train, dude, because you look like Zac Efron from High School Musical out there, my dude. All right. Lastly, I'll go over some of these sorry-ass, players during this game. I actually kind of like the lineup that we kind of were going with. We had Lunin back at keeper. He's our only option right now. We had Carreras at the left back. We had Hughesen at the center back. Militao, who is probably my preferred defender, which I just went over right now, even though he can't stay healthy to save his life. Trent at a right back. He's not a defender, but he can, pass the ball around. Then we had Guler. I like Arda. He's a good player. Tuch is a great player as well. Bellingham, and then Valverde was our right midfielder. We had Tuchemeni and Bellingham in the middle, by the way, as you can see from the picture down there. And then, of course, they shouldn't even list positions for these guys. Vinny was our left wing, and Mbappe apparently was our, I guess we had two forwards. We had Vinny and Mbappe, but they should both have them listed right on top of each other because that's what they play. They both play left wing. These player ratings that I don't know what website I got these from. These are an absolute joke. This team, they don't play like a unit. They're sorry. Starting with Vinicius, he got, what is it they gave? They gave him an 8.9. Whatever. We can give him, I would give him a 7. Besides for that goal, which he scored a spectacular goal. Let's give him his flowers. And I know he was getting jeered and booed, and he came back, with a great goal. Even the great Cristiano Ronaldo got booed, but besides for that goal, what else did he bring, to this game? I saw him drive down that left wing and lose the ball time after time after time again. His link-up play with other players isn't particularly great. Like I said, Kylian Mbappe doesn't make runs in order for him to link up with him, but I just didn't. I wouldn't give him such a high rating of an 8.9. Mbappe, I would not give him anywhere close to what he got on here. They gave him a 8.8. Jesus Christ, no. His movement was horrific in this game, worse than it usually is. He didn't even offer himself in the box, maybe one or two times. He was playing on the right. I don't know what this man does out there. Some days he just does whatever the hell he wants. I would give him probably he scored. I give him probably a 7. Then as for our midfield, Goulart, I love this kid. He tries very hard. You can tell when people give effort and when they have passion. At least he does that week in and week out. He also tries something that none of our other midfielders really offer. Even Valverde, who I would say is our best overall midfielder, most consistent week in and week out. Goulart at least tries to make line-breaking passes. That's something he has in his game that you don't see from any of our other midfielders. It's very hard for his skills to really be shown on a football pitch when you don't have a forward that makes central runs and you're playing with 2 left wingers. It's very hard for this man to put up assists. I think they actually gave him assist for Mbappe's lucky deflected goal, so good on him getting another assist for the year. Tuchemeni, he was okay. I mean, he also is another player on this team that he just does hard yards. He has to clean up because we have 2 players that don't play any defense on this team, and they gave him a 7.0 rating. I would give him most of the time a 6 or a 7 week in and week out just for his effort on defense. He plays the hard work, the hard yards, and we need that on a team. I think this rating for Bellingham is not justified at all. 6.9. I think Bellingham's a fantastic football player. It is extremely difficult to go box to box, game in and game out, and putting in the cardio. I've heard the cardio merchant lines. I follow a lot of these Madrid podcasters like Carnage, and he raves about him. But I've heard other Barcelona podcasters call him the cardio merchant. Bro, go out there and try to run those yards yourself. Before you knock it, go try it. Because he probably is in the cardio, the physio room, more than any other player. Because that guy probably runs like 13 miles a game. And we sure as hell need that on our team. As long as he puts in those miles week in and week out, he should get at least a 6 rating. That is extremely difficult for a footballer to do. I wish and I hope that we bring in a forward or we try playing Vinny on the left or Mbappe on the right so this man can start crashing the box a little bit more and showing off his scoring prowess, because I really missed that in the 2004 version of him where he was banging in goals. And then Valverde, Mr. Consistent himself, they gave him a 8.1. He's always good. He also puts in some pretty hard yards. He didn't score today. He's very streaky when it comes to that, which I love about him. He'll just go through he'll have a 2 or 3 week form, where he's scoring all the time. Then he'll go ghost mode for about 3 months. But overall, the man, he plays a solid game. I love Freddy. I hope he stays at Real Madrid his whole career. Let's never get rid of that man. The defensive line, I'm going to collectively give these guys a 6. We won the game, but they were such a liability the whole game. I think Alaves hit the post twice. They could have easily scored more goals, and Lunen's kind of an absolute bum too. Thank you for your services on some of our backup roles in the Champions League run, but man, he has no aggression in the box. You can tell a keeper, they call it, owning the box. He doesn't own the box. He's not aggressive going out and getting the ball. I know nothing about being a goalkeeper. I personally played forward myself. But you can tell an aggressive goalkeeper from the start of a game on the first corner if they go out and they knock over a few players to get the ball. You never see this guy doing this. He's a liability on corners. He's not aggressive. He was even getting into it with Rudiger during this game, and I think that's about the last guy that you ever want to mess with, because Rudiger will literally probably beat the hell out of you. He's borderline WWE sometimes, but the back line, they're not very good. I just don't think that this is actually the positions that I think talent-wise we are weakest at right now at Real Madrid. I've seen some pretty damn good Real Madrid back lines since I've been following this club. You're talking about Sergio Ramos at center back, Rafael Varane at center back. These guys are big, powerful, athletic freaks. I don't get that sense from Dean Huijsen. I'm probably not even pronouncing that right, but Mr. Dean, he's built like a 16-year-old girl. He's pretty soft. He's good on the ball every now and then. He had an okay game today, but he doesn't intimidate me. He should come back and try to put on about 10 pounds and really, enforce himself. Militao, he can't stay healthy. Poor guy. He's definitely has the potential. He's built like a solid, center back, but he just can't stay healthy. And Trent, he's not a defender. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a worse defender in a Real Madrid uniform except when they were doing that madness of Lucas Vazquez last year, which is insanity. But that's all I got. I really felt like I had to talk about this team. They drive me nuts. I'm kind of at a breaking point with this team. We're so far behind Barcelona in La Liga. We're not going to win. It's really about respect now. We can't win any trophies. We've blown La Liga. We bottled it in 4 days. We had our chances. I have a big Barcelona fan. I call him a friend. We'll call him friend acquaintance. I work with the guy. He shits on me religiously. Every time I see him at work, he shits on me. We had the La Liga lead, I think it was back in December or in February. We bottled it in 4 days. That's this team's quality. It's depressing being a Real Madrid fan. We bottled it in La Liga. We bottled it in the Champions League. We could have won that game just because of a madness from Camavinga. He got a red card and we totally blew it. We could have won that. We blew it in the Copa del Rey, the most embarrassing loss since I've been a Real Madrid fan, losing to a second division team. I don't even remember their goddamn names. It's just embarrassing stuff for Real Madrid. We need to do better. This team needs to start prioritizing winning. I'm currently working on my MBA and finances. The only thing Real Madrid has done well over the last 2 years is finances. We're absolutely in a stable position. Our income sheet looks great. Our cash balance sheet looks great. Our cash flow statement looks great. We need to spend on players. It's the only thing we're doing better than Barcelona right now. Barcelona is a joke financially, but they are sacrificing their long-term sustainability to put together a team on the field. It's time for Real Madrid and the president, Florentino Perez, to wake up and start dipping into the bank. We have the money. We have the long-term sustainability. We have the revenue to buy players, and they need to turn over players, dramatically. I'm going to put out a video on who I think should leave and who I think they should reasonably sign. I'll even try to equate it to their financials and how much money they have if anyone's interested in watching that. But Hala Madrid, I felt like I should reach out. Name's MadridristFitz again. This is really depressing shit week in and week out. Do better. You guys are better than this. Wear the badge with honor. There's people all over the world that would die to be in your position. Even today at halftime, coming out of the tunnel, and you're smiling as your, home crowd boos you, Vinicius Jr. I mean, do better. Same with Kylian Mbappe. Do better, man. This is your opportunity to leave your legacy. You're playing for Real Madrid. You should be winning Ballon d'Ors, not worried about winning the Pichichi or scoring your goals. Make a run to the box. You probably score more damn goals. Or just do whatever the hell you want. Be a dictator, Mbappe. Be remembered for that. Be remembered for banging trannies. I don't really care at this point. I just want to watch better soccer because it's depressing as hell. And it's just, I get depressed and sad turning on the TV. That's all I got to say. Fuck this team. I'm tired. Good night. Hala Madrid.